If I may speak to Mr. Ballhofer for just a moment. You're aware I have an outstanding, 2-month-old outstanding public records request?
Yes, and I just spoke to our IT director. He was trying to have it done by today. He said probably tomorrow to have it done.
Thank you very much. I have a couple of news items for you tonight. In the past week, the city of Waverly, Indiana, discontinued invocations at its commission meetings. Some months ago, Justin Scott had started lobbying the city regarding their invocations. He pointed out to them the problems with their policy and convinced them to move a little bit, but the changes were essentially superficial and the major issues remained. Recently, a new mayor was elected, and that new mayor hoped to resolve the problems with the invocation policy. And so he reached out to Mr. Scott initially to ask him to do the first invocation under his new management. But after discussing the issue with Scott, the mayor agreed that the best and most inclusive solution was not to have invocations at all. Also, earlier today in the Florida House of Representatives, humanist Chaplain T. Rogers gave what I believe is the first secular invocation that body has seen. It was an important and moving moment, and I hope that our representatives in Tallahassee recognize this and move forward encouraged to become more inclusive in their deliberations. Winter Garden continues to trail on this issue. The city currently has an invocation policy that ostensibly allows for, but in fact does not encourage, diversity or inclusion. You have a policy that allows you to unfairly discriminate. You have a policy crafted specifically to silence those with whom you disagree. But there will be no silence while discrimination exists, and there will be no rest while anyone is excluded. Every single one of you, as representatives of the citizens of Winter Garden, should be uncomfortable with the current policy. You should squirm in your seats every time yet another Christian gets up to give an invocation. If you aren't squirming, then you don't yet understand what it feels like to be excluded or what it means to empathize with those who are different from you. And frankly, that means that you shouldn't be up on that dais. You hurt each and every one of your constituents in the city of Winter Garden as a whole every time another meeting goes in the books with this policy intact. Meeting after meeting, month after month, your silence and inaction confers your consent for discrimination and exclusionary practices just as surely as if you crafted every word of this policy personally. I urge you once again to reject discrimination, reject tribalism, reject exclusionary practices, change or eliminate this policy.